Hello Choppers! Welcome once again to my channel. This is Sir Job and welcome to Sir Job TV. Para sa lahat po ng mga new explorers, tsaka newly discovered pa lang po sa akin channel, please don't forget to subscribe and click notification bell for you to be updated with my future videos. So para sa araw na ito, magdi-discuss na naman po tayo in line with the discipline Values Education. So ang pag-uusapan natin sa umagang ito ay tungkol sa the core values of human person. Welcome to my video number 207. Good morning once again, Golden Choppers. So nabanggit ko na po sa inyo kanina na ang pag-uusapan natin sa umagang ito ay iba't ibang aspeto ng buhay na kung saan as a human person, we should have to develop these particular things as we continue living in this particular world. So, maraming mga aspeto po ang kailangan malinang, okay, ng balanse ang pagkalinang dapat ng mga aspetong ito in order for us to live to the fullest, okay, or to fulfill some of our purposes in this particular journey. So, pag-uusapan natin yan lahat ngayon sa umagang ito dito lang sa video na ito. So, basically, on the basis of the foregoing philosophy of human person, the supreme and overarching, or pag sinabi natin overarching, that means comprehensive value that characterizes the educational processes is human dignity. So meaning to say, when we are speaking of core values, at the center of that core values ay ang human dignity po ng isang tao. I'm sure you are familiar with the line saying, ang dignity ko lang po ang hindi ko kayang ibenta at ipamahagi sa ibang tao. Yan lang po ang kaya kong hawakan within myself. Di ba may mga linyang ganito na naririnig natin? So definitely yan po ang ibig sabihin. Kasi accordingly, talking about the core values, pinaka-center po nito ang tinatawag nating human dignity, okay? Which means, the human person is of infinite value. Meaning to say, we have endless value within ourselves. Okay, ang kulang na lang, we have to discover, we have to trace on how we could be able to develop this particular aspects of life. Yan ang pinaka goal talaga ng isang tao. Yan ang responsibility natin as a person while we are continuously living in this world. So yun po ang pinakatask natin, okay? So to maintain our dignity. Okay, kaya lang sometimes talagang lumalampas tayo, no? Talagang nakakalimutan natin minsan that we have to preserve that concept of dignity within ourselves. Thus, it occupies the center of the circle and the core values flow from it. So meaning to say, kung i-demonstrate ko yan sa inyo ngayon, itong microphone na hinahawakan ko, this will serve as the human dignity. Okay? So sa human dignity na ito, nakapalibot ang iba't ibang aspeto that, as I said a while ago, we should have to develop, okay, as we continue living in this particular journey. So pag pinag-usapan natin ang aspeto ng buhay, isa sa mga dapat nating maintindihan is the physical nature. So pag-usapan natin ngayon ang his physical nature or physical nature na isang tao. His physical nature made of matter calls for a maintenance of health and harmony with nature. So basically, pag sinabi kong physical, nakafocus ito sa health or the physical feature ng isang tao. Okay? The inside, the external, and the internal portion of the human or composition of the human body should be maintained by a person. So basically, yan ang ating dapat pangalagaan, ang mismong sarili natin. And of course, as you also continue living, kailangan we have to adapt with the nature. We have to concede the fact that we cannot survive without the nature as well. Okay, so basically yan ang pinaka-point. So nakasaad dito, you invest for good health. Basically, very important ito na as we continue living, pangalagaan po natin ang ating mga sarili. Okay? Dapat i-preserve natin ang ating health. We should have to be conscious to what our health is saying to us. Okay? Or what our body is saying to us. You eat good food, okay, with proper exercise. Yan, kasi may mga statement or there's a statement, okay, that says, you are of what you eat. Okay, nagre-reflect yan sa katawan mo kung ano yung mga tinitake in mo sa iyong katawan. Okay, I am not a doctor by profession, but we should have, okay, to be aware of everything na pwedeng makasira ba ito sa ating katawan, or tama ba ito, or is this good for my health? Okay, so I should have to take this one for my health as well, or for my body as well, something like that. Okay, we have to be conscious about that. We have no right to ruin our physical body. Correct. Okay, wala tayong karapatan na sirain ang ating physical body. We have the right, okay? Kaya nga I'm always telling to my students, tattooing is an art. Correct, I have to concede with that. But for me, I don't want to do that one for myself. Okay? I respect your opinion about that, pero sa aking self, I have to say, hindi ko po magpapatato, hindi po ako magpapatato sa aking self, okay? Because for my own opinion, that's one way of ruining my physical feature. Okay? Sa akin lang po yan. The same way I am saying to everyone na ayaw kong magpa-change ng anything about my physical feature. That is also a form of ruining your physical feature. You should be proud of your identity and you should innovate something, okay, kung papaano mo dalhin ang sarili mo at the end of the day, because that is the trademark of being a unique person. Okay? Kaya dapat you don't need to change anything about yourself just to be someone like or something like this one. Okay? So I hope you get my point. Another, we need to take care the environment for humanity's well-being. So why I am injecting this one? Okay, telling to you na kailangan pangalagaan natin ang environment. Why? Because we cannot survive without environment at the end of the day. So part of the physical nature ng isang tao, we should also have to preserve the environment na kung saan nagre-rely ang ating existence for us to continue surviving in this world. Okay, so I hope ma-realize, kasi nowadays we can observe we don't care anymore everything about our environment. Seldom you can find people who are taking care of these particular things. Okay, we are used to everything what is being offered to us by this particular generation. Okay, so something that is neglected with our present. So I hope that as you continue watching this video, you will realize that, oh nga no, yan ang pinaka one of my task in this world, to also preserve the environment at the end of the day. So yan po ang composition ng physical nature ng isang tao. Meaning to say, you have to take care of yourself, okay? And at the same time, you also have to take good care of the environment, because that is one thing also for you to continue surviving in this particular world. So yan ang physical nature ng isang tao. So secondly, pag-usapan natin ang his intellectual nature. Kasi composition ng tao, meron tayong physical appearance, but at the same time, we also have our brain to be developed. So yan po ang tinatawag nating intellectual nature ng isang tao. His intellectual nature, gifted with mind, the faculty of knowing, calls for a constant search for the truth. Yan ang katotohanan. Kaya nga, he seeks knowledge that would transform society and the world. Correct. That is the reason why in our generation, as you observe, we are continuously moving on to discovery, innovation, and transformation. Lahat ay nagbabago because people are thinking, people are moving, okay? Sa kanilang mga utak, they are thinking of how they could be able to innovate this particular thing. So something like that. Because ang tao po, we are continuously searching for the truth. Okay, what is really the correct way? What is really the correct doctrine? At some point, may mga tao naghahanap ng perfect religion as they are calling to themselves, or as they are thinking for themselves, something like that. Okay, because ang tao po, we are gifted with mind accordingly. Okay, we have the faculty of knowing. We could be able to understand, we could be able to analyze, okay? We could be able to use our brain to process everything. Okay, so yan ang punto ng intellectual nature. He seeks knowledge that would transform society and the world. What are the things that can make this world better. That is the constant innovation of a man while still living in this particular world. Human beings are curious, inquisitive by nature. Okay? Pag may nakita tayo, we are so curious, ano ba yan? Anong pwedeng gawin dyan? Anong purpose niyan? We are always asking question. That is human nature. And because we are constantly asking question, we also have that answers, okay, from that question na kung saan nadi-develop natin. At at the end of the day, we also have the chance to innovate, okay, those particular answers na natatanggap natin. Because that is human nature. In the intellectual process of a man, we are inquisitive. Okay? So something like that that we always have to remember. So ang utak nyo, because we have our brain, gamitin ng tama, linangin ng mabuti, okay, and of course, share it to other people of what you have within you that could also enliven the other existence in this world. So something like that that we always have to remember. Talking about the intellectual nature of a man. So aside from that, we also have the moral nature. Okay? So his moral nature, endowed with the faculty of freely choosing and loving, okay, calls for reaching out to others and in fact to all humanity in love. Okay, highlight natin ha pag sinabi kong moral nature, freely choosing and loving. We have the right to execute. Okay, we have the right to execute these things to other people. Accordingly, you have or we have, okay, to spread love, kindness, and compassion. Very important ito na ma-execute ng isang tao. Okay? We have to show this one to other people. May mga ibang personality na sinasabi nila, you have to kill those negativities with kindness. If you could be able to do it, perfect. Maganda yan. Kasi, totoo talaga ito. Real talk lang tayo. Totoo ito na nangyayari. Yung kasamaan, pwede mo siyang gantihan ng kabutihan. If you could be able to do it, very good. And that's perfectly deliberation talaga ng isang buhay dito sa mundo. But not everyone can perform. That is why we have to master that craft. Okay? So spread love, kindness, and compassion. Very important. And of course, we have to radiate positivity in the world. Okay? Especially sa ating panahon ngayon na too much of negativity is already around the corner. So, ang pinakataas talaga natin is we have to embrace the positive angle. We have to look positive things in every situation. Kahit nahihirapan na tayo and we don't know already, we are so much anxious with everything that is happening right now. Pero kailangan itatak natin sa ating isipan na there's still positive things that might be happening right after this particular moment of our journey. Mahirap po, but we have to face it and we have to deal with it. Part po ito ng ating journey sa mundong ito. And of course, we need to embrace and accept within ourselves that we are not perfect, okay? But we can do things right. Meaning to say, ang punto ko dito, may mga pagkakataon na nagkakamali tayo. May mga pagkakataon na lumalampas tayo doon sa imaginary line na create natin that supposedly hanggang dito ka lang. Huwag kang lumampas dyan. Huwag kang umabot dyan. Huwag mong gawin ito. But sometimes in our journey, we cannot control. Or should I say, these are all inevitable to us. Meaning to say, we cannot control. So, nagkakamali ang isang tao, but the good thing is we have the right, okay, to correct this particular things on the next chapter, on the next morning, on the next page of our life's journey. So something like that, we are given opportunity to correct something within us. Thus, we should stop hatred, anger, and despair, or meaning to say, hopeless meaning of existence. Okay, dapat i-end up natin ang mga bagay na ito. Rather, we should have to accept positive things. Tanggapin natin ito, and we have to spread love as we as we continue living in this world. Kindness is everything talaga in our existence. So basically, yan ang punto ng ating moral nature na dapat ma-develop within us. Okay, so aside from moral nature, we also have spiritual nature. Okay, so basically, his spiritual nature is capable for higher concerns and of rising above the material. Calls for cultivating sense of spirituality in consonance with his nature and respond to God in faith. So meaning to say, spiritual nature talking about the words of God. Basically, live with faith by the words of God. I would like you to search Jeremiah 29:11. That's my favorite verse in life. Yan ang pinaka dinadala ko talaga sa buhay ko. Every time na may mga darkness in my life, may mga downfall sa buhay ko, I'm always have to go back to that Jeremiah 29:11. So ito yung punto ng spiritual nature. We have to go back to the words of God at the end of the day, and we have to reflect, contemplate some of those things, okay, in order for us to get motivated to keep fighting for life, something like that. Okay, follow his commandments. Mahirap ito, may mga punto na hindi talaga natin nagagawa, pero we always have to remind ourselves that as we continue living, we have to follow God's commandments at the end of the day. And of course, we have to accept him, okay, as our personal savior. Remember that going to heaven is an individual quest. So we have to reflect that one within ourselves, that my action is the only one to be judged by the Lord, and we should not see anybody else in the world. Huwag mong tingnan ang existence ng ibang tao. Dealing with this kind of aspect in life, you should have to face yourself. You should have to focus on yourself. You should have to reflect within yourselves. Okay? Something like that. Then ang pinaka-importante talaga, talking about the spiritual nature. So you always have to have your holy scriptures with you, and you read sometimes, no? You read sometimes, you reflect sometimes, but most importantly, talking about the spiritual nature, keep on praying. Huwag mong bitawan ang mga pangarap mo by praying it and crying it to the Lord. That's my advice only. Ipagdasal mo palati yung mga gusto mong marating sa buhay, because everything is in God's control naman. Okay? Kung hindi natin maabot, that's the goal of the Lord. But at least you have that courage to tell to the Lord na ito yung gusto mong mangyari para sa buhay mo. So that's it. That's very important talking about. Okay? Spiritual nature, we have to reflect on God's words. Yan ang pinaka-importanting maintindihan at ma-develop ninyo. The foregoing pertain to the person as self. Indeed, the human nature must achieve integral self-development, okay, by cultivating his human faculties to the fullest possible, okay? In fact, however, these values are actualized or realized in society. So as you go on with interaction, sinabi ko na sa inyo ito sa previous videos ko, as you go along with interaction, socialization, meeting with other people, you are also developing yourself at a time, okay? Nadidevelop ka. Why? Because you are also learning from them. May mga bagay na hindi mo alam noon, but because of interaction, natututo ka. And gradually, you applied also that one to yourself, which is magiging habit mo na rin siya at magiging pattern na rin siya ng buhay mo. So yan po ang composition talking about. Pero nakalagay talaga dito, you have to develop yourself at the end of the day, and also you have to live yourself to the fullest. Okay? Or live your life to the fullest. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Live your life to the fullest because you will only live once. Yan ang always kong nire-remind sa lahat. We only have one spotlight here in the world, and meron lang tayong one chance to show to the world of who we are. So kailangan talaga kung ano yung gusto mo, what can make you happy, do it. Okay? Because at the end of the day, tumatakbo ang oras, may pagkakataon ka na ipakita ang sarili mo kung sino ka, but at the end of the day, you know already na ang lahat po sa mundong ito ay may hangganan at katapusan. Okay? That is why, what can make you happy, go along. For as long as hindi ka nakatapak, again, ng buhay ng isang tao. That's very important. Always aim for happiness because life is too short. Indeed. Okay? So, sinabi ko na sa inyo kung ano yung makakapagpaligaya sa iyo. Okay? Yun ang gawin mo sa journey mo in this world. Okay? And fight any life's battle and never surrender. Along the way, may mga challenges, may mga pagsubok na darating sa buhay mo, but the best thing that you need to do is never withdraw. Just continue moving kung gaano man yan kahina, kung gaano man yan kabagal. Just continue moving. Never ever surrender nor quit for that particular life's battle. Kasi normal yan. Ang buhay ay hindi maganda at hindi kumpleto kung walang pagsubok or problema. So we should have to fight, okay? We should learn how to fight this particular expected problems in our existence. Okay, something like that. And at the end of the day, always remember that God is with us all the time, so don't be afraid. May Panginoon po nakaantabay sa atin, nakatingin sa atin, nakaguide sa lahat ng ating mga tinatahak. So do not be afraid. Kung tingin mo delikado ang lugar na to pero gusto mo siyang marating, gusto mo siyang maabot, go ahead. Okay? Anyway, may Panginoon naman. And you can run to the Lord, you can cry to the Lord, and you can pray to everything what you are aiming for to achieve. Something like that. So, huwag kang matakot. Don't be afraid to take a step to heading to your dreams. Huwag kang matakot because God is always there for us to scaffold everything. Okay? So that will be all for this morning. I hope you learned something from this video and I hope that you will share this video to your friends and to anybody else that you think na kailangan ng video na ito. Asahan niyo po that Sir Joel TV will continue to discuss more meaningful discussions, especially in the world of social sciences. Thank you once again for watching. Bye-bye!